Hello, this is World University and Schools News and Question and Answer on Monday, March 7th, 2022. And as we wait to see if people and when people might join this open conversation, this question and answer, this WUaS, World University and School News and Question and Answer, I'd like to share a little news with you. First, glad that students are proceeding with CS First with Google at World University and School, a course about the Scratch programming language, which is very interactive and engaging, and could open avenues into matriculating at World University and School. For example, from Cameroon, Africa. So this is an exciting development. Please explore it if you're interested. You'll find it on the Twitter feed, World University and School.org is the email address. Twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH is the Twitter feed. I'll try to post it to the top of that Twitter feed at the end of this WUaS news and question and answer. The second bit of news I'd like to share with you is we're seeking to in an innovative way, explore how we might move from even an engaging CS First with Google at World University and School course in a new way that's quite different from perhaps what some might see as the static CC4 Creative Commons 4 licensed ocw.mit.edu resources with their web pages for courses and videos. So how to move from an engaging course like learning a block programming language such as Scratch that's produced as a Creative Commons 4 licensed course, and from perhaps a static learning resource such as CC4 ocw.mit.edu to even one that's playful. And one of the directions World University and School is seeking to move next, and perhaps even beginning in May of 2022, our second 4-month term, is with a proposed course, a hypothetical course, Python language with Spike Prime Lego robotics kits course. So students in all 200 countries from home would be able to learn the Python language while playing. So playing with Lego robotics. This play aspect potentially would build on possibly this Scratch language course, CS First with Google at World University and School. And moving even beyond, for example, this proposed course that could of Python language with Spike Prime Lego robotics kits. And this could be extended potentially as a template for play and learning computer programming languages to perhaps Mindstorms, the Lego robotics kit for slightly older people than the Lego Spike Prime robotics kits. To how to move from even such playful learning of both robotics, WUaS home robotics, as well as the Python language, to even joy in learning some sort of perhaps building on ocw.mit.edu or similar. And as I envision it right now, this could be through music. For example, if one could learn to riff and jam with even with voice in a way that would bring out joy, perhaps with music that brings you into that joyful zone, or even a loving bliss zone, or even an altered consciousness zone. Raga, Indian classical music for some, for me, Allman Brothers, or Grateful Dead from 1965 to about 1979 for the Grateful Dead, and beyond that, quite some decades for the Allman Brothers, are interesting questions that World University and School hopes to address. In another news item, World University and School is continuing to seek to build a realistic virtual Earth for LEGO robotics. So physical, digital, actual virtual robotics for home robotics, and what happens when the physical brick that you might want isn't there. Could you innovate in a virtual, realistic Earth for robotics? Or what happens if in the realistic virtual universe, a spaceship, a Lego spaceship was traveling to Mars in the late 2030s, and your physical Lego robot could head there as well, and you could innovate in all kinds of ways, playful and even joyful ways, with building robots, spaceships that would go to Mars. Those are interesting possibilities with a realistic virtual Earth for robotics. But what I wanted to share is that the realistic virtual Earth for genetics opens up all kinds of possibilities, and even for questions of longevity genetics. A realistic virtual Earth, think Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Maps, Google Earth, TensorFlow AI, the machine learning, artificial intelligence platform or set of libraries that have at least a 5-year history now, I think, with Google Translate and even realistic avatar bots, such as you and I or other species, and down to the cellular and molecular levels too, in this realistic virtual Earth for genetics, as another news item. Perhaps we can explore how longevity genetics work. I just want to raise you and Bernie's recent tweets about, in a way, diversity genetics and culture. And he's British, but having spent some time in the US, was identifying many aspects of American culture in his tweets that had biological genetic aspects. And it's a very diverse world of biology when one starts to look at the actual genetics, and then with what goes on the ground physically in different places, such as the US or Japan or Cameroon or the British Isles, for example, or perhaps Indonesia, for example. So how do you bring together ongoing remarkable genetics research after this pandemic has closed to reach many people that might interact with on the ground sort of research? So culture and field work as well. Film to 3D application to be seen. So that's all for today. See you next week. I think it's March 14th, and worlduniversityandschool.org is the email. Meeting at worlduniversityandschool.org if you'd like to join getting some emails from worlduniversityandschool.org. Bye for now.